Welcome back to the Venom Workshop. So today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to show you how to change the ignition on an X22R Max. Now, on these bikes, when you change the ignition, you're going to be changing actually three things. So in the ignition kit, it comes the ignition, it comes the gas tank cap, and it also comes the seat lock. So you don't have to carry around two keys with you all the time. We send the whole set, that's how it comes. So we're gonna have to remove this gas cap. So we're gonna have to take out some bolts. Not all of these will we have to take out. There's only, I think, 3 or 4. I think that's one. Then there's one way down inside there, and I think that's one, and then maybe one of those. So we're gonna take that off. Now we're also gonna take the ignition off. I'll show you where to get to the wire to unplug it. And also, we are going to get to the seat lock, which is down here, right underneath the seat, right here. So we're gonna have to remove that as well, and put in the new one. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get my tools. You're not gonna need a lot of stuff to do this. Maybe down here you'll notice a set of needle nose pliers that I don't have yet. I'm gonna go grab a pair, but I'll get my camera in position. We'll start at the ignition and we're gonna work our way back. So we'll do ignition, then gas tank, then the seat lock here. So I'm gonna get my camera in position and I will see you in a moment. Okay, so we're gonna get started up here. The first thing you're gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna unplug the ignition cord. Now, I'm gonna show you actually where it is and how easy it is to get to. But if you go underneath your ignition here, and you feel there's a cord right here, it's a little black one, just like that. Mine's already unplugged because I unplugged it already, but I'm gonna show you exactly where it is and how to unplug it. So we're gonna go around to the right side of the bike. Don't look at my dirty shop. All right, and right down there, you see that plug hanging? Right there. I'm gonna get a light too so you can see it better, but it's right, got my big fat hand in there, right here. You just unplug it from that little square one right there. It's the exact same layout. So we're just gonna disconnect that so we can get it through. I'm gonna get a light so you can see it a little bit better because it's always better with light. You can see that plug right there, that's it. And it's easy to get to. I have big meaty hands, so if I can get my big meaty mitts in here, everybody can. So you just go in there and you can just push the top pin on the plug and pull it apart and just leave it just like that. Now, we're gonna come up and we're gonna take the bolts of the ignition so we can slip the ignition out. Now, the bolts on this ignition are actually number 5 Allen bolts. So we have, if you have a socket with it, you can use that as well. You don't have to use an Allen key. I'm just gonna slip that out of the way. Ooh. Roly poly oly. There we go. Let's see if I can do it lengthways now that it's loose. Yep. Still a little bit tight to turn with my fingers. Oops. Hole there. On you. That's an awkward angle to work at. There you. I'm gonna get, actually, I'm pretty sure I have a number 5 on a socket. I just want to get it done. You can do it with the Allen key, but it's gonna take you forever. I'm sure if I look, I have a number 5 somewhere. Come at this from the bottom, so you'll see my socket come up. Oh, I'm going to get another extension. So if you do have it, the socket, you can do it like this too. In the hole there. Yeah, that's a lot easier doing it like that. And of course it fell down inside the fairing, but that's easy to grab. So just get your bolt and put it aside. Now we'll go to the other side. We're going to do the exact same thing. Just give your handlebar a twist like that. Come right back up. Again, my bolt's right here. So again, you could do it with an Allen key. And I did start with an Allen key, but if you do have the right tools, all you need is a socket with a really long extension. Oh, this one is actually pretty nice. I don't need that whole extension. There we go. Alright. And you'll see that the ignition's already dropping out of it. Okay, my bolt fell, but that's okay, I can grab it. And that's it. So, our ignition then, we can pop it right out, just like that. Let's get our ignition wire. I'm just going to switch the handlebar back because I'm sure that that's just caught. Yeah, right there. Okay, there it is. And that's it, guys. So that's your ignition right there. And when it bolts up like that, this goes into the triple tree. So when you lock your steering, oh, I got it backwards, sorry. So when you lock your steering, that pin comes out and locks it. And it locks it right into the frame of the motorcycle right here on that little tab. So that's what that if you ever lock your steering so nobody steals it, that's actually what you're doing. Okay, so this ignition works perfect. So we're just gonna go right ahead and put this one right back in, and then we'll get started at the gas tank. Okay, so now we're gonna put our ignition back in. We're gonna do the exact same thing as when we took it out. We're just gonna go down with it, and I'm gonna wanna run my cord in through the frame, so remember to do that. And I just did. Oh, this is probably a whole lot easier if the keys aren't in it. So let's take the keys out, and we'll feed the ignition back up to where it belongs, right there. And then I could go ahead and start one of my bolts, just with my fingers. I'm just gonna put one up inside so I can get my and I'm just going in a few threads. I'm not gonna tighten it all the way in. I just want to make sure it holds in place until I get down and get my socket. Then I can turn the handlebars back that way. I'm just going to finger tighten that one for now because I want to go to the other side and put the bolt in for that one. So I'll do that. And again, I'm just going to go in from the bottom, but if you have to go in from right here, you can. Like I can still start my bolt. Oops. There we go. Got it started. So now I'm going to go ahead from the bottom and I'll just tighten it up a bit. And you want to make sure those are nice and tight. I want your ignition to rattle out. So now I can get my ratchet. Up underneath here. Go. There we are. Now I'm just going to go to the other side and tighten that really fast. So I'll just spin my handlebars back this way. Once I tighten that, there we go. Now we can get the gas tank cap off and started, and we'll start doing that. Back into our ignition. So I'm just going to turn the plug. I'm going to make sure that the hole for the pin is on the top and the pin lines up, and then we'll just click, push it together just like that. There we are. And it's together. Now let's go up, turn our key on. Yep, everything lines up, lights up, does what it's supposed to. So we can shut that off. Now, we're gonna get started on the gas cap. Now, if you are missing a key and that's why you need to get an ignition, you're gonna have to break this lock. So I actually have a video. So if you do need to break this lock, reach out to us and I'll show you how to do it. We don't post that publicly. It's just not a nice video to post publicly because you're breaking the lock out of a motorcycle, and it's basically I'm teaching you how to steal it, and I don't want to do that. So if you do need to change your gas cap, we are here for you, and I will show you how to open this to get an old gas cap off that you have to replace. But this one has the key, so if it was because your ignition's broken and you have to change this, this is what you have to do. So you're gonna have to remove this little bolt, which is a number 4. So we'll go ahead and we'll take that out. I'm gonna put my keys back in ignition. One thing about taking these bolts out, you want to be very careful. So always keep your fingers on them. Do not drop them in the gas tank, because then you're not going to have them. And fishing them out of there is not going to be fun. So I'm just going to keep my fingers on this one so I can't drop it. Like that. I'll put it off to the side. And then if you look underneath the gas cap, this one does not have anything that goes down. I can put my finger underneath it. This one over here does. This one does. And this one does. So this one has to come out. And this one has to come out. And this one right here has to come out. We can put that down a bit. And then just give it a little pull like that. It'll pull right off. Now when you get this, it's going to be just like this. When it shows up, it'll be like that. It'll probably have tape or a plastic piece over the top of it. That's the way they do it. I don't know why. But it'll look like this inside. So when you get it, it's going to be the same thing to put back on. You just have to make sure that your little piece here with the hole here goes on top of where that hole is there. And then just kind of give it a push down, because it does have a rubber O-ring on it. And then we can replace our screws. Here. I'm just doing those finger tight. I will tighten them in a moment. Okay, now I can tighten them. Tighten. 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 Now this can go. Now if you find that it doesn't want to push down now, don't panic. Just put your key in it, open it, put it down, and you're good to go. Now, oh, we forgot one. Glad I remembered that. There's another one goes right inside here. That's the small one I set aside. Big tighten. There we go. Turn key out. Okay. There we go. Now I'm just gonna get everything ready to get our seat lock off, and we'll get the seat lock, and this will be the last of the video. We'll just get the seat lock done, and that's it, guys. All right, so the first thing we're gonna wanna do is get this seat off. So key just goes underneath here. I lost, there it is. And this seat comes off. So when you flip that key switch, it actually opens up the back seat, and then the front seat just gives, you give it a pull up like this, and it just comes off by itself. So now this lock that we're getting out, actually attaches all the way down here, and this clip moves out. Now I'm going to remove the tool package, because right underneath that tool package, that's the ECU or CPU, it's the computer right here. So I'm going to unplug these two plugs so I can get to it and not be messing around with this and playing with it. And I don't want the wires in the way. It's just going to be a headache. So, see if I can pull them out. Actually, there's only one screw holding the ECU in, so I might as well just move the whole ECU. I find on those plugs too, when there's that many pins on a plug, sometimes they're just so hard to unplug. So let's just take this right out of the equation. Just like that. Okay. So then the first thing we're going to do is right down here, there's a little clip on there that holds everything together. We're going to pop that clip off, and then we can get the ignition kind of moving around and get this cable off. We want to get that cable off so we can take that out of there. And this is the lock here that we're going to be changing. So you get a needle and pliers. And we're going to just try to grab that clip and give it a pull out. Oh, hey, come on there. Oops. I am sorry, guys. This is really hard with the camera. But I got my clip. So all I did was, if you couldn't see it because my big fat hands were in the way, was I put my needle nose on there like that, just gave it a poke, and it popped right off. Now you can move it. That's what I want. I want to be able to move it, and I want to take this cable out of this little snap piece here because I need it out. I'm actually going to step to the other side of the bike so the camera's not in the way, and I'm going to grab the cable and pop that out of there. Just like that. Put my neat little nose out of the way. Okay. And I just have to slip my cable off like that. And then I can drop my plunger, which I'm holding right now, right here. I can drop that down, and then I can go to the bottom of the bike and get it. Just like that. So this will stay with the bike. You might get a new one, you might not. Some ignitions this comes, sometimes it doesn't. So don't be panicked if you didn't get it because you still have this one. And this is our actual lock, and it's what pulls the cable to unlock this right here. See when I pull if I pull the cable down here, like that, it opens and closes the lock right here. So now to put it back on is pretty well the exact same way we took it off. It's not going to be very difficult. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my ignition back up through the hole We can get our cable back on, put our clip back on, and that's it. So bracket, and it goes like that, and then our lock goes up. In there, and the lock turns like that, so that the cable can click into it. So now you don't even need to hook up the cable first. You can go ahead and put your clip back in. And the clip, usually you can push it on with your fingers. I got something turned wrong here. Okay, there we go. Now the clip, you can just put it on with your fingers. Just put it down, line it up with the tumbler like that, and you should be able to push it in just like that with your fingers. And then all of it's back together, except for I just have to put my cable on. Now to put the cable on, super simple. Get in the hole, turn the cable till the pin drops into the hole. All the way, you want to make sure it comes out both sides, just like that, and it turns. Again, just like that. And lift it up, and then just push the little holder in place, like that. Just like that. And you'll notice the cable has a place to run underneath the fairing. It goes down there, everything's secured. That's where it's supposed to be. Now let's make sure that it works. We got our key. And we turn it, and our lock's moving there. You see that? So that works perfect. So our lock is installed. And we're not done yet. We're gonna take our ECU. We're gonna put it back in place just like that. And we're gonna put our screw back in it. Just like that. Okay, and that's it. Now we just have to put our seat back on, which is not difficult. So we're going to remove our needle nose from there. And we're also going to put our tool pack back in. Now our tool pack actually goes in right here. I don't know why it was all the way down there. This right here, if anybody's ever wondering what this is your the plug-in to run a diagnostic on it. This cap actually pulls off. This is just a cap to keep the dust out, just a dust cap. But this pulls off, and when that pulls off, then the plug is underneath that. See, that's your ECU plug right there. So again, leave your dust cap on it. Put that in there like that. And then we can get our seats. Like I said, front goes on first, because the front's got these two tabs on it, 1 and 2, and they slip down in that little, there's a little hole on each side there, a little divot. And you come up and you put it down into the, where it slips down, and there you go, that seat's in place. Now the back seat is what holds the front seat also on. So like that, push it in, lock it in place, and there you go. So that's it, guys. That's our video. That is how to change the ignition, the gas cap, and the seat lock on the X22R Max. Hope you liked the video, so definitely like and subscribe, and we'll see you next one.